Hey everybody, Mike Miller, Herald Times, joined by columnist Jeremy Price, coming to you from a little bit different vantage point here at Assembly Hall, down in the south baseline either way. 78-64 Indiana win over UT-Arlington, much closer than Indiana would have liked it, much closer than anybody thought it would be, but nothing's really going, at least from the injury point of view, nothing's really going how anyone thought it would be. The depth that IU was counting on to be a strength of this team has so far been anything but. As Indiana was down to 7 scholarship players by the end of tonight. A 7-man rotation was quickly whittled down to 5 by the end of regulation.
My team is on the floor.
Yeah, seriously. It is getting dangerously close to that point right now. It's keep coming for Indiana.
It does. I mean, you want to say that there's a silver lining here, that all this adversity and being down people early in the year is really going to pay off in the long run, but that's assuming that things are going to get better at some point, and I'm not sure if that's a safe assumption to make just yet. I mean, you would think there's nowhere to go but up. I mean, there's nothing that's led us to believe at this point that whatever's wrong with Devontae Green and Zach McRoberts are long-term things, but you didn't think that they'd keep them out this long either. So, you know, I guess it's a wait-and-see thing at this point. I mean, it really is. And you had Deron Davis didn't play tonight. Al Durham played for a little bit tonight, but you know, I wouldn't even hesitate to speculate what his injury might be. Went down flat on his back. Wow, 2 minutes in, maybe, if that.
Not even a minute and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
came
even
back
that.
and played for a while, but then when I saw him go into the locker room, and he looked to be in a whole lot of pain. Which, you know, like I said, I don't want to speculate, but you kind of wonder the way he took that fall, if that wasn't, you know, something where everything seemed fine for a few minutes and then the pain starts kicking in and it turns out that there's something much more serious and potentially, you know, heaven forbid, long term once again for this team. So yeah, I don't know.
Did you even mention Romeo?
No, Romeo only missed the last 4 minutes. He's fine.
Yeah, sure. It was certainly a bloody scene for Romeo, taking a inadvertent reverse headbutt there under the basket late in regulation. He no real sense of what exactly happened other than right now just
like a real
nose.
strong candidate for a broken nose, possibly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He could be wearing one of those face mask things next time we see him.
Yeah, no telling right now exactly. They were just trying to get the bleeding to stop in the last 4 minutes there. But once again, I mean, you're almost flirting with the worst case scenario there. But again, it's just kind of one thing after the other from the injury point of view. You're down to a short rotation. You're basically at this point really hoping you can get more from guys like Justin Smith, who had 13 points tonight. You need a little bit more from Evan Fitzner, guys who struggled in that Arkansas game, guys who you're really going to have to turn to and get a little more, because you're able to get the leadership, you're able to get the you know, some of those money points from Juwan Morgan we need the most. But right now they're just needing those really a new set of you know, third, fourth scorers, secondary scorers to really emerge right now.
Yeah,
not just scoring either. I mean,
yeah, doing, well, everything.
Yeah.
And part of that is figuring these lineups out, as Archie was saying post-game. I mean, he finished this game, the 5 on the floor. You had basically Finnessy at the point, Demezy Anderson at the 2, and then you had Justin Smith, Juwan Morgan, and Evan Fitzner as your 3, 4, 5 guys. A lineup he says has never even practiced together before tonight. So you got a lot of guys figuring things out. And the way things went tonight, you know, UT-Arlington wasn't pressing like Arkansas press necessarily, but they played a lot of small ball, a lot of small lineups, and were trying to put some pressure on you both offensively and defensively with what they were doing, and that's a difficult thing for this Indiana team to match up with right now. I don't know much about UC Davis coming in here on Friday, but I'm sure Indiana hopes that they do not employ a 40-minute press.
Let's seen enough of that right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, turnovers were an issue tonight. Just a sloppy game. They look sluggish.
And there was some sloppiness Sunday at Arkansas.
Yeah.
And you add that to the sloppiness tonight. It is a little bit concerning. But I guess that's where the struggle is right now, is how much weight do you put on the things that are being concerning, or how much of that is inexperience combined with fatigue and injuries and all those things. So there's, you know, a ton of factors playing into all this right now.
I'm about to sneeze.
And where Indiana goes from here, I mean,
sorry.
you go to UC Davis, and then I don't know. Do you just wave the white flag before you go to Duke next week? I mean, it's
Well,
not
that's the thing.
exactly an ideal situation.
Yeah, I mean, you were kind of hoping if you're Indiana that you get Devontae Green and Zach Roberts back for that next week at Duke. It seemed like that was in that parameter, that initial time frame where they were looking at November or first week of December. Whether that's the start of Big Ten play, or whether it is that Duke game, but right now, I mean, it is a team that's just trying, really just trying to get by right now. I mean, it's just not even. It's really hard to even take a whole lot out of this game, like you were just saying. It's really hard to really make any grand projections of what we saw tonight because, again, it was in a lot of ways a patchwork team that was coming off a tight turnaround in a long, stressful physical game at Arkansas. It's right now. It's just kind of like get through the week and then you get to Duke. It's sort of like, well, it's almost like just get through that one as well too.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe Clifton Moore and Jake Forrest are just going to have to see some time on Friday. I know that it's clear that there's not a super comfort level with putting those guys in, especially in tight game, meaningful minutes, basically. But sometimes you've just got to swallow the pill and go for it and see what happens, even if it's just, use those guys for a minute, let them play 2 or 3 trips up and down the floor before anything too crazy can happen, and then get them back out and just try and manage this team such as it is for right now. I mean, that's really all you can do at this point, and hope you somehow don't get anybody else hurt on Friday.
Fingers crossed. It looked like I wrote about it tonight, but look, as soon as Al Durham went down, you could just see Archie, his face. I mean, his face said it all. It was sort of like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And no one was kidding him.
No.
Not at all. Not at all tonight. As we say, the injuries continue to pile up right now. But you get a little bit of a couple days here, Thanksgiving, get back on the floor Friday night again, just trying to get by. Figure out where you go from here, maybe work on some of these different odd lineups, get Jake Forrest ready to go, and just a spell, a few minutes from an Evan Fitz and so forth, moving forward here to finish off the week. And you get to Duke and just kind of throw it all out there, see what you can do. But we can talk more about Duke as we get closer. But that was going to be a situation too where you're almost trying to get your guys ready to have all hands on deck and to, because I thought you probably would have to and will have to play some odd lineups at Duke just to kind of handle Zion and some of those other guys they can throw out, because I'm not sure you want Juwan Morgan on him the whole night, or you're going to have to maybe get creative in the way you guard him and some of the other guys they have. So maybe in some ways it helps kind of getting some guys on the floor right now who maybe otherwise wouldn't, but still it's not ideal in any stretch, and not the lineups, not the team you thought or want to put on the court right now.
No, but I do think probably if there's one undeniable positive, it's that this team has shown a bit more of the fight that it didn't show at times last year, particularly early in the year last year, when Indiana State and Fort Wayne, came in and basically punched them in the face, and they just kind of took it, for lack of a better way to put it. This team showed some fight at Arkansas on Sunday. They showed some fight when Arlington had all the momentum tonight, got within one, finally battled back down the stretch, and obviously relying on Juwan Morgan for a large part of that. But, given the young guys that are playing key minutes, freshmen, sophomores, whatever, I think that is a positive sign that this team can carry with it, probably more than anything else, that it does have some resilience, some fight to it. And then if you can add some health to that, you might be in business.
Yeah. Doubt about it. We've seen resilience now just in these last 2-3 days now, as you said, in the Arkansas game, in the way that they were right there despite having a really, really ugly game. And tonight was really not any prettier from a lot of different point of views here, but once again, you're able to kind of get the plays. You saw a big three from Demezy Anderson in the court on a night when they only had 2 3-pointers, but to hit a clutch three like that from a freshman who's playing minutes that he probably, or that Archie Miller wasn't expecting to play, was certainly encouraging. So you are seeing a dose of that resiliency, and you kind of that is the one thing maybe you can project from this game, is that you are seeing some of those moments. You are seeing guys kind of rise to the moment and play the kind of way you need them to play in these kind of games. So,
and especially if you can add a Zach McRoberts to that, a guy that is a known quantity as a scrappy fighting type of guy, I think there's only a level for that to go up for this team actually. So.
As much as as bad as things kind of look with the injuries right now, there's still, it still looks like a really good team, and it still looks like there's still some pretty high upside with this group. It's just a matter of actually seeing them all come together, which we haven't seen yet. And
at some point, you've got to be able to put together enough to start winning some games as we go through here. Obviously the Duke game get what you can get from that. I don't know that there, a loss there isn't the end of the world. Obviously, that's a uphill battle from the get-go.
Yeah.
But once you roll over from that and you go with Northwestern and Penn State and Big Ten play, you've got Louisville coming in. You've got the Crossroads Classic. Obviously, there's some games there, some opportunities to get some key wins, and that's where something needs to start spinning in the positive direction, because you can't keep giving them all away and saying, well, but we were hurt, but we were injured, but, well, that only flies so far on Selection Sunday. So obviously, you've got to find some results at some point, and we're fast approaching that point.
We are. One more game this week, then Duke next, and then you're rolling into at least the first leg of Big Ten season. Not too far away, a couple weeks away. So that'll do it from here. 78-64 Indiana win. IU's now 4-1, and get UC Davis here on Friday night, 7 o'clock, and then the bucket game. So big holiday week rolls on. Enjoy your turkey. We'll see you after the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving.